Sup everyone, welcome to another video. And well, today it's time we need to talk about the new banners. All right, this is always an exciting time for everybody. People getting giddy, people are mostly already made up their minds. A lot of you guys are here to validate certain opinions. Be like, oh, you better not say anything bad about Cyno. All right, I'm gonna break this down for you guys, what I think where the value is at, as well as the new weapon banner. The value, not gonna lie, for these banners are a little insane, especially this weapon banner, but we'll talk about that at the very end. Okay, let's start from the character banner. Like I always say, all right, I've made it a tradition at this point. Every single banner, in my opinion, 9 banners out of 10, there's one 4-star on the banner that's just not as good as the others, but in this case it's a little more difficult to pinpoint that, right? And I think it's really unfair to say Cyno is not on par with someone like Kuki Shinobu and Candace, who we don't even know what she's really capable of. I mean, we kind of know what she can do. Spoilers, she has the capability of giving hydro infusion to certain characters. Now, a limited hydro infusion, right? But nonetheless, a hydro infusion. Interesting to consider. But now, the thing about Cyno and Kuki Shinobu, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys, when you're pulling up banners, you have to consider the value of the 4 stars. Starting with Cyno, I think her role in the game has gotten better over time, especially because with more and more newer players coming into the game, it's very difficult to get your hands on a Venti or get your hands on a Kazuha. And even now, even with Venti coming out, are you going to be pulling for Venti? Are you willing to sacrifice some of the potential newer characters coming out in a patch or maybe 2 patch from now to guarantee yourself a Venti? Or you're just going to try your luck with Venti? But what if you get like 2 or 3 Cynos before you even get Venti? Is it okay then for you to stop, right? Because remember, Venti is the other banner. Let's say you're trying to pull for Venti and then you get like 3 or 4 Cynos. You're getting her to C3, C4 before you even reach Venti. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to kind of just stop and play Cyno, right? Is it worth it? In my honest opinion right now, Cyno's role in the game or her importance has risen to, not substantially, but to a certain degree, that newer players with a few early copies of Cyno constellations can consider playing her. She has many roles in the team. She can fill multiple roles, both as a viridescent shredder as well as a healer on your team, right? And she scales off of attack. So, you know, Cyno is not the worst character really on this banner. Like, if you want me to pinpoint a bad 4-star on this banner, I kind of can't, right? So unfortunately for people who are pinpointing the dud, it's like, it's Cyno, not Cyno. Then people are now looking at Kuki Shinobu. Like, what about Kuki Shinobu? Kuki Shinobu, with the arrival of the Dendro character, she's found a great and consistent role in many quick and aggravate teams. Like, she's there both for electro resonance as well as providing healing, and you know, that's a role. She deals a decent amount of electro application as well as damage, although, you know, her gimmick is she has to lose health to heal other people. I know some people find that incredibly annoying, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. She does her job sufficiently well if you know what you're doing and you play her properly. Right, now we can look at Candace. This is the character that a lot of people are going to be on the fence about, right? Like, some are incredibly excited for her, some are not so much, but I can tell you this much. I am incredibly excited for a character, especially a character that can infuse other characters. I'm definitely going to be trying to pull for her at least 1 copy here because I want to test the potential here. I know she cannot infuse bow characters and catalyst characters. Now, here's the thing I want to confirm with Candace is that, is there any potential to play her in more traditional teams as replacements, or is she going to be strictly being played in like a Bloom, Hyper Bloom scenario, like a Dendro focused team? But before we get into that, I need to tell you guys about today's sponsor, which, surprise, surprise, something that I've been using for a couple of weeks now, right? So I want to introduce you guys to the BenQ Screen Bar Halo, which is a monitor light that I've been using personally for a while. So first things first, the device is controlled wirelessly, and through this wireless control pad that is given to you, you have control over the front light, back light, the brightness, and even color temperature. So depending on what you are doing, you can change the lighting to fit your environment or set the mood. Now, speaking of mood, you also have the backlight, which allows you to balance the contrast of your workspace and reduce eye fatigue, especially if you are working from home and have your desk up against a wall or something, or close to a wall. This can help you more than you think. It really has the rays and lights just bounce comfortably off the wall to illuminate your general environment, and it doesn't cost glaring. It doesn't hurt your eyes. It feels very comfortable. The colors kind of just wash over the walls. Now, the screen bar halo is designed to meld seamlessly into your setup as naturally as possible. It doesn't take up much space, and it doesn't really prohibit any sort of line of sight or screen real estate. It's compact, easy to install, and full of drip marketing, if I do say so myself, right? I want to be transparent with everyone here. I was not paid to say good things about the product. I was given a product and I was allowed to give my honest thoughts. And these are my honest thoughts of the product after using it for some time. The only thing I want to let you guys know is that there is a USB connector that needs to be plugged not into your computer, but rather into a socket with a high enough voltage to power the device. That's honestly it. It's all in all a great product to add to your workspace. If you work from home, even better, right? So you can find all the links to the product down in the description or in the pinned comment. Once again, thank you to BenQ for sharing this amazing product with me. Now back to the video. And now with Candice being released in Sumeru, it's a no-brainer to assume that she is going to be played predominantly in Dendro specific teams. But I just feel a little awkward, right? It's that however seems to have completely foregone metas up all the way until now, and although it is normal to incentivize playstyles, it's also important that we don't forget the roots where we came from, what people have been playing with all the way up until now. We already have Nilou, who is pretty much at this point confirmed to be a Dendro exclusive character. Yes, she can likely react with other elements. It's just that, is it really going to be worthwhile to do it, right? So now having Candice, let's say potentially also leaning heavily into Dendro, I mean, it's exciting, but I would like some variety here, okay? With all that said, Cyno, my boy Cyno is like the big crown jewel of this first half for 3.1. Personally, I'm definitely going to be pulling for him, but depending on how he performs, what kind of teams he's going to be running, and I have a video talking about the teams I want to run him in and that I'm going to be testing him in. Depending on how he performs on other teams, I'll likely give you guys another video update as to whether or not he's actually worth your gems. I think he's pretty cool. However, with seeing how they treated Zhao in the past, and now a super hyped up character Cyno from all the way back since even like I think before patch 1.0 came out, he's already been teased in trailers and whatnot, and however has a tendency to really not do these kind of characters justice. It was the same with Yamiko, it's the same with Zhao. The only one that didn't really get the harsh treatment was Ayaka, so I'm really keeping my fingers crossed here that Cyno ends up with going alongside of the Ayaka treatment as opposed to the Zhao and Yamiko treatment. Not saying they're bad, they're just not as good as they likely could have been. Okay, with that said, we need to touch on the weapon banner because this banner is crazy. Like there's a new claymore on the banner as well as the new 5-star spear. Now, at a glance, it looks kind of like Zhongli's spear, like the same aesthetics, but you're not, right? This spear is actually quite a bit better. It actually has a crit rate scaling to it as a substat, and on top of that, the character equipping this weapon gains 52% of their elemental mastery as bonus attack, right? When an elemental skill hits opponents, the Dream of the Scarlet Sands effect will be gained for 10 seconds. The equipped character will gain 28% of their elemental mastery as bonus attack, max 3 stacks. This weapon is just gonna help cycle through these additional stats very efficiently. When you're wanting to build Cyno, you want to build him for Elemental Master so you get the best of his quicken and aggravate reaction, but at the same time you're not going to be losing out in that attack stat. One of the gripes I've had with characters that scale off of multiple stats, I mean, I literally made a video just a day or two ago talking about Xinyan, is that her main problem is she's trying to do too much with too many stats but not enough stats to go around. Like, she doesn't even have any sort of double functioning stats. Elemental Mastery is a great example. It's a stat that helps with reactions, but at the same time, depending on what reaction you are proccing, it also has utility features at times as well, like look at Crystallize. So it's not very difficult to take a stat like that and have it scale into other things to have it have purpose elsewhere, right? Now, on top of that, this weapon just takes that and amplifies it even more. So amazing weapon. I would assume that without this weapon, Cyno likely is not going to feel nearly as impactful, because at the end of the day, having one stat essentially have two purpose as a passive ability, that is great. Think about Staff of Homa, right? Staff of Homa just flat out gives you HP, but it doesn't make, let's say, HP into something else. That came with the ability of the character. Hu Tao took HP and turned it into extra damage. In this case, Cyno doesn't do that, but the weapon now does that for him. So this is going to be a really good weapon regardless if you use it for Cyno or not, because I can just imagine future characters that does scale off of Elemental Mastery. Of course, it just comes with crit rate as well, right? So it's really good weapon. I don't want to say it's like the best weapon that I've seen ever or in a long time. It's a very good weapon, but it's not the best. As you guys know, not all characters benefit from attack, so someone like Hu Tao could kind of still use it. The crit rate helps, you know, the Elemental Mastery does help, but then the attack stat helps a bit, but not the best, right? But at the same time, we have to talk about Elegy for the end, because this bow is one of the most popular bows used in all speedruns. If you want to clear difficult content, this is a universal bow that can help you achieve that. Of course, this is like a whale's best friend at this point. I personally still don't have it. I'm really debating whether or not I should be pulling on this weapon banner. I'm finding it difficult to resist the urges, but I know if I pull on this banner, I'm going to have to drop some dollar bills, so we'll see. Apart from that, the 4-star weapons could be said to be one of the best rosters we've ever had. All of these weapons have great usage, and for free to play, some of them are even best in slots for certain characters, such as the Lion's Roar for Kaching. And I'll fight people on this. The Favonius Lance is arguably Zhongli's best in slot for free to plays, okay? And of course, with the new Claymore, who doesn't want to snag up like a new shiny toy for themselves? Overall, this value is going to be more universal in my opinion than this and this, right? And it really pains me to say this because I usually don't want to recommend free to plays or even veteran players to go for the weapon banner, but I think this case, if you're pulling for Cyno, or if you ended up getting Cyno randomly, I wouldn't say it's a bad idea to try your luck on this banner. However, if you're really wanting, let's say, the Dendro Archon or any of the characters coming, or Tease, Dehya, anybody, it's okay to skip it. It's still okay to skip weapon banners. Weapons are always something you can play around. Like I mentioned earlier, free-to-play weapons are plentiful in Genshin Impact to the point where you never really feel like you need 5 stars. But with that said, I'll leave that decision up to you guys. What do you guys think about the character banner? What do you guys think about the weapon banner? And comment down below your thoughts. You're pulling for Cyno, you're pulling for Nilo, you're pulling for Dendro Archon. What is going on with your account? All right, until next time, I urge y'all to stay safe. Peace, bye.